record.
You may be seated.
Mr. Moran, you have another witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
MC,
Mr. Stewart, would you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self you got.
Yes, sir.
Please have a seat if you would, and adjust the microphone in front of you once you're comfortable. I think you can pull it a little closer to you if you would, all right?
Okay, sir.
May I inquire?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Sir, pull the microphone just a little bit closer to your face and amplifies your voice somewhat. Would you tell me your name, sir?
MacArthur Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, can I have your age for the record, please?
65.
And Mr. Stewart, if I can take you back in time, sir, to April 15th of last year, 2015. In the evening hours, were you anywhere near 129 West Hilldale in the city of Detroit?
Yes, I was.
And what's located at 129 West Hilldale in the city of Detroit?
That's the home for my wife and myself.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you what you marked as People's Proposed Exhibit number 125. Mr. Williams.
Without objection. Thank you.
Let's take a look at this, if you would, sir. And tell me, what is People's Proposed Exhibit number 129, sir?
That would be our address at Hilldale 129, sir.
Does that appear to be a map of the area that includes your address?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I would move to him that People's Proposed 129, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. McWilliams?
No, Your Honor.
It'll be received.
125, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I misspoke. 125.
Okay, it's
125. Mr. Stewart, can you see the screen behind you?
Yes, I can.
And there's a star right here next to the numbers 129 West Hilldale. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
And is this West Hilldale Avenue where you live?
Yes, it is, sir.
And 129, is that the approximate location of your house between Charleston and John R. Street?
That would be correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Now I'm going to hand you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibits 126, 127, and 128. Mr. Williams?
Thank you.
I'd ask you to take a look at all three, if you would, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, this would be our home on Hilldale 129 West Hilldale.
Are all three of those proposed exhibits photographs of your home?
Yes, it is.
And do they fairly and accurately depict the appearance of your home as it appeared back in April of 2015?
The only thing that would be missing was a wrecked car to the left of our driveway.
Other than that, though, it's a good image and depicts how your house looks.
Yes, it is, sir.
Move to omit People's Proposed numbers 126, 127, and 128, Your Honor.
Any
Without
objection?
objection. No, Your Honor.
126 through 128 will be received. Go ahead, please.
Would you show us, please, People's Exhibit number 126? Now, you can see the monitor there, Mr. Stewart?
Yes, sir.
And that's your home at 129 West Hilldale, correct?
Yes, to the right.
Okay, now you say, when you were looking at those photographs, you can leave it up. When you look at those photographs, you said that's our home. Do you live there with someone else, sir?
Yes, my wife and I.
And what is your wife's name?
Sandra?
Okay. Sandra Stewart?
Yes, that's correct.
And Mr. Stewart, how long have you lived at that address on Hilldale?
Approximately 38 years.
38 years.
Yes, sir.
Are you currently employed, sir?
No, I retired from General Motors Design Center 3 years ago.
Okay. And have you been working since you retired?
Just around the house.
Okay, very good. I'm going to go back in time to that day of April 15th, 2015, sir. Sometime in the evening hours, did there come a point in time when you left your home?
Yes, it was early evening to visit a friend.
And did your wife go with you when you left the home?
No, she remained home.
Okay, so you left by yourself.
Yes, sir.
And how long were you gone away from your home that evening of the 15th?
I would say approximately 3 to 4 hours.
Did you come back to your home that night?
Yes, I did. I arrived home approximately about 10:20 p.m.
And when you got home, sir, were you by yourself?
Yes, I was.
Were you in a vehicle?
Yes, I was.
What type of vehicle were you driving back in April of 2015?
I was driving my retirement Cadillac 2014 CTS Performance Coupe.
A Cadillac?
Yes, sir.
And did your wife have a car at that time?
Yes, she did. Her vehicle was parked back near the garage area.
I noticed looking at Exhibit 126 that there appears to be a driveway that's on the left side of your house as you're facing your front porch. Is that correct?
Yes.
Does it have a detached garage, your house?
It's a detached garage.
Detached?
Yes.
Okay. This is a gate that appears in the photograph, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And was that gate there in April of 2015?
Yes, it was.
Now, you indicated that your wife's car was parked by the side of your house or the back.
Yeah, at the very back near the garage area.
Okay. Now, when you pulled home that night, you said you got home about 10:20?
Roughly 10:20
Okay, p.m.
p.m., yes, sir.
You got home by yourself.
Yes, I did.
You're driving the Cadillac, your retirement car.
Yes.
Do you pull into your driveway?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you pull in, where in relationship to the gates did you park your car?
Hilldale being a one-way street, I made a left turn in our driveway with my headlights facing forward based on the fact that there was a wrecked vehicle sitting in the driveway next door. I basically wanted to make sure I could pan the area with my headlights to make sure there was no movement of any type out there. So once I pulled in, just beyond the gate, as I closed my door and had my back to where the wrecked car was parked, that was pretty much where the vehicle stopped. So it was about midway between the gate and the garage area.
So your car came to stop, you parked your car beyond the gate?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm going to call it in the backyard of your house.
Yes, I would say, yes.
Could you do me a favor? I'm going to hand you this laser pointer. And you just point this little red dot right here. And will you just show me where that wrecked car was so I get a perspective?
There's an oil spot right there. So that wrecked car was right in that vicinity there, roughly 5 feet from my fence line.
So that's your neighbor's house, right? Your neighbor's driveway?
Yes.
So that wasn't your wrecked car, that was someone else's?
Someone else's.
So you pull your car, about 10:20 that night, you pull your car behind the gate. I assume you get out of your car.
Yes, I did.
Did something unusual happen when you got out of your car, sir?
Feeling that it was clear nobody followed me down the street as I closed my car door with my right hand, I could pick up an individual standing to my immediate right.
Yeah, this is inside the gated area of your home?
Yes, it is, sir.
Was this someone you saw at the corner of your eye?
Yeah, through my peripheral vision.
Okay. All right. And was this someone that you knew at that time?
No.
Okay. Can you describe that person for me?
Once again, they were heavily disguised with masks, gloves.
Let me stop you there.
Yes.
You used the word they. At this point, you just see one person?
I picked up the one peripheral, but along the fence line, I could see the other two approaching with handguns.
Okay. So at first, you see one person out of the corner of your eye.
Yes, sir.
And that person, that individual, is standing inside your gated area.
Yes, sir.
Okay. After you saw that person, you described two other people that you saw?
Yeah, basically I was trying to pick up any detail on the first individual, but as I looked at his face, looked beyond him somewhat, I could see the other two individuals approaching behind him.
Okay. And are they coming from the street towards your house?
No, they actually came from, yes they would have, but they actually came around the corner of the fence.
So they were already behind your house? I want you to show us.
Okay.
Here's the list point. Show us where you are first, and with the other.
Okay, I was approximately there.
For the record, the witness is pointing to Exhibit 126, to the area just inside the gate. Is that fair, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where was the first person that you saw?
He was back there with me also.
So, for the record, again, pointing to 126, the area just beyond the gate of the home.
Yes, sir.
Where were the other two individuals that you saw?
By the time I looked down the driveway, they were coming around this side of the fence, and the wrecked car was there.
For the record, pointing to 126 again, to the driveway that's just to the left of your driveway, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, they were near the area of that wrecked car. The two individuals that were coming toward your house were near the area of that wrecked car parked in their neighbor's driveway.
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, you have now seen three individuals approaching you, correct?
That's correct.
What happened next, Mr. Stewart?
Let's see, my first reaction was I made the statement to one of the individuals. I knew what this is.
Why did you say that?
Based on the fact that he had a handgun pointed at my head and my face about 3 to 4 feet away.
Can you describe the handgun for me?
It was a black semi-automatic pistol from what I can remember, sir.
Now, before that individual said anything, he points a gun to your head. Before he says anything, you say something to him. Is that how I understand you?
That's correct, sir.
You said, I know what this is.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Based on the fact that I try to be as safe and secure as possible, I basically felt that I didn't want him to get twitchy, trigger happy. So that's basically why I reacted and told him I knew what this is.
So you're trying to calm the situation down?
Yes, sir.
After you told the person with the gun, I know what this is, what happened?
I basically told him he could take my car, my keys, everything that I had on me, so I gave up everything that I had on my physical possession right then.
Did that person with the gun pointing towards your head ask you for anything?
Just the keys to my house.
Okay. So he asked for the keys to your house. You give him your keys to your car. Did you tell him, take my car, take my property, take my money?
Yes, I did.
Did he take your car at that point?
No, he didn't, sir.
Took your keys?
Yes, he did.
Then what happened?
Once he took the keys, he escorted me to the back of the house where my wife's vehicle was parked.
Behind the house, behind the gate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did the other two individuals come with you, or?
They basically walked behind him, staying in close proximity of myself and the individual.
The first individual with the gun and the other two individuals, as you're going back to the house, did they say anything to you at that time?
No, not during the course of the four of us being in the driveway, other than asking for the house keys, or which was the house key.
So you gave them the keys, they asked you for the house keys, you gave them the keys, did they ask you which was the house key?
Yes, they did.
Did you tell them?
I did. I told them it was a silver key. One of the individuals made a mistake and used the wrong silver key, so he ended up coming back down into the driveway with me and the other two individuals.
Okay. What happened then?
Once he got the right key, I was still at the back of the driveway near the garage with one of the individuals who patted me down waist high and around my ankle. I stayed there, let's see, I would say roughly 5 minutes at the most. And once they entered the house, I was escorted down the driveway with the gun stuck in my back.
How did that happen? Did all three individuals stay with you in the backyard or in the driveway?
Just momentarily until they got the right key to go in the house, and that's when the two went into the house and one remained in the backyard with me.
Which person stayed in the backyard? The guy with the gun?
Yes, sir.
The first person that approached you getting out of your car?
Yes, sir.
So he held you in the driveway while the other two individuals
entered the house. Yes.
And from when you're standing in the driveway, you assume they go into the house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You said you were in the driveway 5-10 minutes?
It seemed like 5 or 10 minutes, sir.
And it's just you and the guy with the gun?
Yes, sir.
Is that individual saying anything to you, doing anything to you during that time period?
I can't recall if he did. I do remember as we walked down the driveway with him having the gun in my back, I still had my hands up in a raised position as I walked down the driveway. And I was told to put my hands down, so that's about the only thing I can remember
Okay.
the individual said to me.
As you're walking with him, do you walk into your house?
Yes, I do.
Front door, side door, back door?
Front door.
Okay. And that's the front door that we can see in People's 126 here?
Yes, sir.
When you get to the front porch, sir, is the door open?
It was slightly ajar, so it was an easy entry.
Let's bring up 127. Can you see People's Exhibit 127, sir?
Yes, sir.
Does that appear to be, is that a photograph of your front door?
Yes, it is, sir.
I can see the porch light illuminated. Do you recall back on April 15th of last year whether the light was illuminated at that time?
Yes, it was, sir. The porch light was on. Our motion lights on the side of the house were on. And the halogen vapor light on the neighbor's property, it was on also.
Okay, so the area is pretty well illuminated.
Yes, I made sure the area was illuminated.
Okay. Now, at that point, do you go into their house?
Yes.
And does the person with the gun at your back take you into the front door?
Yes, he does.
What happens once you and he get into the front door? Tell me what you see, what you observe.
The other two individuals had made it upstairs where my wife was in our master bedroom.
Okay, let me stop you there, Mr. Stewart. I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what happens when you and the person with the gun in your back go into the first floor. What's the first thing that happens?
Okay, I was told to go to the right, which is our living room, to lie on the floor face down.
And did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Now, were you told to do that by the guy with the gun that had the gun in your back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where is that room in relationship to your front door?
It's within 5 feet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you go inside and you lay down?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does the guy that has the gun to your back, what does he do after you lie down?
He basically stood above me with the gun, pointed at my head, told me to keep my face down.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did, sir.
Is he telling you anything else? Is he asking for anything?
Not at that time, sir.
Okay. Now, you told me before that this is your house and your wife's house.
Yes, sir.
Sandra Stewart, correct?
Yes.
Was your wife home when you got home that day?
Yes, she was sitting up in her bedroom in a chair knitting.
Okay. So she's upstairs when you drive in your driveway that night, right?
Yes, sir.
When you walk in with the person with the gun to your back, do you see the other two people on the first floor?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Didn't.
Can you hear anything else going on inside the house?
I could hear movement and rumbling, and my wife talking to the individuals with a very strained and stressed voice.
Could you hear what your wife was saying in that stressed voice?
I do remember one of the things she asked. I did overhear her say, "Why do you people do this?" And the reply from one of the individuals was it was their job.
While you're lying on the floor with the gun to you?
Yes, sir.
How long are you on the floor, Mr. Stewart?
I would say it probably at least another 5 minutes or so, seemed like.
And while you're on that floor, can you still hear the rumbling upstairs, the movement, that sort of thing?
Yes, I could.
Does something change that after 5 or so minutes that caused you to get off the floor?
Yes, I saw reflections through our blinds. 2 neighbors came home, and the individual asked me whether or not I was expecting anyone. And
the individual with the gun?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you tell him?
I told him no.
Okay. What happened after that?
That's when I was asked to stand up and walked into the vestibule area of our home.
The front of the house?
Yes, sir.
Then what happened?
As the other 2 were still upstairs with my wife, the one individual with the gun, I noticed I had a chain around my neck. Still at gunpoint, he snatches the chain off my neck and then escorts me upstairs.
Is that a physical motion where he grabs the chain and pulls it?
Yes, sir.
He didn't actually take it off?
No, he just
took it.
snatched. Yeah.
And did that chain have some significance to you at all?
Yeah, it was a birthday gift from my late mother. It was a replica of a 24-karat gold Cougaran, an African coin, on a small chain.
That person snatched it?
Yes, sir.
Now, the stairway, is that near the vestibule area?
Yeah, it's a straight line or a direct line up. Once you come in the front door, the steps are right there, and it would be right. The steps would be facing you when you walked in the house.
And after that person stole that chain around your neck, does it take you upstairs?
Yes, sir.
What happens when you get upstairs?
Once I'm upstairs, I was with the individual. The other two were still in the bedroom with my wife. I was asked to lay face down in the guest bedroom on the floor.
So you are taken to a different room than when your wife is being held?
Yes, sir.
And that's a room on the second floor?
Yes, sir.
You call it the guest bedroom?
Yes.
How many bedrooms upstairs?
We have 3, a master, a guest bedroom, and my wife's craft room.
Okay. And you went to the guest bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Where is that in relationship to your master bedroom, sir?
Right around the corner within 2.5 feet.
As you're being led into the guest bedroom, did you see your wife?
No, I didn't.
Did you hear her at that point in time?
Yes, I could hear her in
Was she
the...
speaking to the other 2 individuals?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the person with the gun takes you into the guest bedroom, and what happens once you get to the guest bedroom?
Once again, I was asked to lay face down on the floor and keep my head down.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How long are you on that floor before someone else comes in the room?
I would say maybe, once again, 5 to 10 minutes, possibly.
And who comes into the room?
My wife was ushered into the room at gunpoint and asked to sit on the floor next to me as I was in the prone position, face down.
So you're lying on the floor. You see your wife come in. You hear your wife come in.
Yes.
She's told to sit on the floor. Does she sit on the floor?
Yes, she does.
Did you see her come into the room?
Yes, I did.
Did you see the person with the gun bringing your wife into the room?
Yes, I did.
And your wife George was on the floor. Is there anyone else in the room besides you and your wife at that point?
At that point, it was just my wife and myself in the room.
Persons with the guns aren't in your room?
One individual that held us at gunpoint upstairs, he's standing in the hallway just outside of the bedroom doors.
What happens then, sir?
Let's see. Can you give me a moment? At that point in time, we're both in the bedroom door. One individual still holding us at gunpoint. The other 2 went downstairs. I did overhear the one upstairs holding us at gunpoint yell to the other 2 downstairs, check the basement.
During the course of this robbery, sir, you indicated that your keys were taken. Was anything else taken?
Yes, my ATM card, sir.
When were your ATM cards taken in the course of this robbery?
My ATM card was taken just as we came into the living room, and I was asked to lay face down on the
Before
floor.
the jeweler was snatched from your neck?
Yes, sir.
When that individual took the ATM card, did that person ask you for your PIN number?
Yes, he did.
Did you give it to him?
Yes, I did.
Why did you give the PIN number?
Out of fear.
Did he say anything to you if you don't give me the right PIN number?
Yes, he did.
Tell me about that.
Well, once I gave up the my ATM card, I was asked at gunpoint once again to give him the PIN number. So I did give him the PIN number at that time. During the course of that time period, a phone call was made by an individual to another individual. It appeared to be as though they were checking to see whether or not the PIN number was a good PIN number.
That was what your impression was?
Yes.
So, from your perspective, they appeared to be checking to see if your number was correct?
Yes, because I actually heard an individual on the phone that they were conversing with whether or not it was the correct PIN number.
Okay, you're back upstairs in your bedroom with your wife.
Yes, sir.
The person's in the hallway with the gun. What happened then?
I do remember my wife asking the individual, "You're not going to hurt us."
What did they say?
He didn't say anything, but I was focusing on his shoes, what direction he was going to move in the event I had to do something.
What do you mean by that?
Do whatever I could at that time, sir, to defend myself and my wife at that point in time.
Fair to say at that point you don't know what's going to happen?
That would be correct, sir.
When you say do something to defend your wife in the event that they were going to hurt you?
Yes.
So you watch their feet?
Yes.
So if they come into the room, you knew something was up?
Yes, sir.
Did they come back into the room, Mr. Jordan?
No, he didn't. He basically stood there momentarily till the other 2 went downstairs, and I watched his feet actually change direction and began to back up towards the stairs going downward.
Do you know where the other two people are at that point?
Not at that time, sir.
So does it appear at that point that you and your wife are alone up on the second floor?
Yes.
How long are you alone in that bedroom on the second floor for that period of time?
I would say a matter of 10 minutes.
As you're up there on the floor, can you hear other things going on in the house?
No, it was relatively quiet downstairs at that time.
There come a point in time when you made a decision to get up and go downstairs.
Yes, it did, sir.
How much time passed as you're on the floor when you made that decision?
I would say roughly 5 minutes when I heard the front door close after the individual upstairs went down the stairs.
It's about 5 minutes later.
Yes, sir.
You hear the front door close?
Yes.
After you hear the front door close, what do you do?
I asked my wife to close the bedroom door, call 911. They overlooked a carbine that I had in the corner as they were rummaging through the guest bedroom. I grabbed it, locked and loaded, closed the bedroom door, proceeded downstairs very cautiously. And by the time I had gotten downstairs, as safe as possible, opened the front door, they disappeared.
They were gone.
Yes, sir.
Carbines and guns, right?
Yes, sir.
Did they ask you for guns?
Yes, they did ask for guns and money.
And did you give them money?
What was taken out of my pocket?
And how much was that, do you know?
I'd say roughly $60, $80, sir.
But the gun, why didn't you give them the gun?
My thoughts was to have given them a gun, that would have put another weapon out on the street. And, you know, if they'd have forced me at closer gunpoint, I probably would have given it up. But that at that time, I saw no need to contribute to weapons on the street, sir.
So you got that gun, you said cocked and loaded,
Yes, sir.
and you were checking the house to make sure they were gone.
Yes, sir.
And they were gone at that point.
Yes, sir.
Left your wife upstairs in the bedroom with the bedroom door closed.
Yes, sir.
You know, at this time I would move to admit people propose exhibit number 491, which is a records authorized by stipulation. The stipulation reads that the records attached to stipulation are fair and accurate copies of the records maintained and provided by Community Choice Credit Union. These records contain information about financial transactions. That information was recorded by the Community Choice Credit Union at or near the time those transactions took place and kept in the ordinary, kept in the course of regularly conducted business. Is that a fair stipulation, counsel?
It is, assuming it's going to be shown to and validated by the witness. Thank you.
All right, it'll be received.
So take a look at this, if you would. It's page 2 of People's Exhibit number 491. Are those bank records of yours and your wife?
Yes, they are, sir.
Can you describe for me, please, the physical appearance of the 3 individuals that were involved in robbing you and your wife that night?
With the dark clothing, I can say that they were 3 African-American males. I thought their ages probably would have ranged from 20 to 25, possibly. One individual was taller in stature, thin build, dark complexion. One of the individuals was light skinned. There was light colored eyes, light complexion and light colored eyes on one of the individuals. And the other individual, the only thing I could pick out was he was a shorter, darker complected African American male.
Did one or more of them have firearms?
I saw all 3 with firearms, sir.
Do you know the difference between a rifle and a handgun?
Yes, I do.
And were they rifles or handguns?
Handguns?
Do you know the difference between a revolver type handgun and a semi-automatic handgun?
Yes, I do.
And could you tell us what type of weapon, type of handgun they had?
Semi-automatic, appeared to be black.
All three?
Yes, sir.
From the hand you what's been marked as People's Proposal Exhibit number 132. Mr. Williams?
First of all, to the credit union.
We did that already.
Well, are you going to show it to them?
I did that.
I was waiting for you to validate it as to the withdrawals, if there were any alleged.
But we'll get to that. So I'm showing you People's Exhibit 1, Proposed 132. Take a look at that.
Yes, sir.
Would you believe me if I told you that is a record kept of a photographic or a corporeal in custody lineup conducted by the Detroit Police Department?
Yes, I believe it.
And have you seen that form before?
Yes, I have, sir.
And does your signature appear in that form?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And you signed your name after you made some statements after observing 5 people in a photographic array. Is that, I'm sorry, in a live array. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Move to amend 132, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Subject to cross-examination, Your Honor.
Now, in the lineup, you indicated a couple of things. You identified 3 individuals. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Number 4, you said, most looks like the guy who approached me first and put a gun to my head. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you see the name on number 4?
Number 4 would be Kevin Smith.
Did you see Mr. Smith in court today?
Yes, sir.
Where is he?
Sitting right there.
Could you point him out, please? This gentleman here in the white shirt and the black tie?
Yes, sir.
And that's the individual that put a gun to your head?
Yes, sir.
Now, you indicated 2 other people on here. Number 5's complexion matches the complexion who opened the door with the keys, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said number 2's build and complexion matches the guy who went inside my house, right?
Yes, sir.
And those, just for the record, are Quante McKnight and Daryl Estel. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the bank records that we just talked about a few minutes ago, you actually had some withdrawals from your bank as a result of giving your ATM card to the people who robbed you?
Yes, I did, sir. There were withdrawals made from a PNC bank at 8 Mile and Woodward, which is approximately 5-7 minutes from our home.
You're very close to Woodward. You're right on John Allen, right?
Block and a half, sir.
Okay. Withdrawals from a PNC bank that night?
Yes, there were withdrawals at the PNC.
Any other withdrawals?
Let's see. I think my wife's ATM card was used somewhere on the west side.
Of Detroit?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. McWilliams?
Yes, thank you very much. And good morning, Mr. Stewart.
Good morning, sir.
April 15th, 2015 was the date
Yes, sir.
in question. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you've been out for a while, came back, and you've described what happened to you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And sometime thereafter, maybe several months thereafter, you were taken down and you did a lineup. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
That was a live lineup.
Yes, sir.
There were other persons there,
Yes, sir.
but you were the witness, were you not?
Yes, sir.
And I think your wife's, is her name Sandra? She went with you. She was also a witness.
That's correct.
But you were ushered in there and saw separately. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you were shown a record of that live lineup, were you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, you signed as MacArthur Stewart the record of that live lineup, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the persons that were in your house on April the 15th, they were wearing masks, were they not?
That's correct.
Okay. And they were wearing clothing which attempted at least to demonstrate that they should not be detected in their identity. Isn't that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. And so therefore you could not see the face or head of the alleged perpetrators. Isn't that correct?
Yes, based on the disguises.
That's right. Yet on June the 16th, 2016, you went to a lineup, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you looked at people.
That's correct.
And based upon that, you were asked to make an identification of a perpetrator who had perpetrated and done to you what you've described. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you did that without the benefit of seeing or being able to identify masked and people who were purposely trying to keep their identity a secret. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, in making that, in going into that lineup, you knew that you could not positively identify any of those persons. Isn't that correct? Because they were wearing what you've just described. Isn't that correct?
That would be correct, but by mannerism and swagger.
Okay, so
and demeanor.
You were okay. So you saw movement.
Yes.
Of persons in the lineup. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Were they asked to do tasks in that lineup?
Face forward, turn to the right, raise your head up.
Anything else?
That was basically it, sir.
Okay. No smiling or showing their teeth or anything like that?
A couple of the individuals appeared to take it lightly.
Okay. And did that make any difference to you?
No, it didn't.
Okay. I would like to ask you whether or not today you have identified Mr. Kevin Smith, this person seated here, as one of the perpetrators.
Yes, sir.
And you don't make that identification based upon actually positively identifying that person as your memory was on the evening in question. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay. And so as a matter of fact, the only thing you did was to say number 4 most looks like the guy. Isn't that what you said?
Yes, based on
Okay.
the fact that's my first lineup to have looked at.
Okay, fine. And what you were doing was you saw 5 people in a lineup,
Yes, sir.
and you compared them with each other, didn't you?
No, I compared them with the individuals that was at my home.
Sir, it says here that number 4 most looks like the guy who appeared. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you were not comparing the other persons in the lineup by saying this is the person who most looks like the person? You were making a comparison, were you not?
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much. And at that lineup, you were not saying that number 4 was a positive identification of the person who was in your one of the persons who was in your home perpetrating the crimes that were perpetrated against you. Isn't that correct?
That would be correct.
Thank you. Now, how tall would you say the tallest person was that perpetrated the event that happened to you on the 15th of April 2015?
I would say approximately 5'9".
Okay. And was that the person who first accosted you in your driveway?
That's correct.
Okay. And he's the person who took your money?
Yes.
What else?
My keys, my cell phone, and the wallet was taken once we entered the house.
How tall are you, sir?
I am approximately 5'9", sir.
Okay, so you would be the same height as this person, or this person would have been the same height as you.
That's correct.
Okay. Will you stand up, please, Mr. Smith? How tall would you say this gentleman is here right now?
I'd say 5'9", 5'10".
Would you stand up so we could see you?
Can I get down there?
No, actually, if
Right
you...
where you are, that would...
Yeah, where you are. Okay.
Okay.
You are a tall 5'9", were you not? Are you not?
5'9".
Okay. And on your driver's license, how tall does it say you are, if you know?
5'9".
Okay. If you'll have a seat, Mr. Smith.
You could have
like,
a seat too, Mr.
like
Stewart.
Mr. Stewart. Thank you. Could you tell what the hairstyle was, if at all, of one or any of the perpetrators?
The individual in the driveway that held me at gunpoint, despite his hoodie, mask, he appeared to have dreadlocks.
And how did you detect that, sir?
I could barely pick him out as I'm making a study of his face.
You're sure that's not something that you would like to have seen, but actually didn't see?
I object that's argumentative, Your Honor.
Rephrase the question, if you would, please, Mr. McWilliams.
Are you saying that you actually saw dreadlocks coming from the skull of one of the perpetrators?
Based on the cover that the individual mask, hoodie he had on, I felt I could see possibly dreadlocks.
Okay. Is that because you thought you were sawing the outline of dreadlocks coming through whatever the person was wearing on their head?
They appear to be overflowing between the hoodie and whatever mask he had on.
It is true that you would really like to have some type of positive way of positively identifying the one of the perpetrators. Isn't that true?
I object that's argumentative, Your Honor.
Mr. McWilliams?
Your Honor, we're going to a very crucial point in this case in terms of identification, and I think that's very pertinent and relevant.
No, I would agree that certainly you can question Mr. Stewart about his ability to identify, but the last question was argumentative, so I'll
All right.
sustain the objections.
Okay. Well, sir, I'd like to ask you further about any other features of the person that of any of the persons that you want to describe as standing out.
I did detect one of the individuals that I described, light-skinned, light-complected African-American man, fairly light eyes. As I was lying on the floor, I glanced up and I saw him continually try to cover up more of this.
Okay.
When you say this, what are you referring to, just for the record?
From the eyebrows down to the bridge of the nose, sir.
Okay.
You have some familiarity with firearms, do you not?
Yes, sir.
Would that be a military-style short
No, sir.
carbine gun that you had? Right.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Small gun.
Yes.
Okay. But you've described the weapons that the perpetrators had as handguns, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you know the difference between 45s and 38s and the likes of that?
I know there's different calibers of
All right.
handguns, sir.
Okay. And you know that today there are such things as lasers on guns, do you not?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay. And you know that a laser would be an attachment to a gun that would light up and point in the direction of the muzzle
Yes,
of the
sir.
gun? Okay. Did you detect any such item as an attachment to any such
Not that I
weapon?
could pick up on, sir.
Okay. Were you shown any photographs with regard to an alleged perpetrator at your home?
I was asked briefly by an FBI agent to take a look at a folder, but I explained to him that at that time I could not pinpoint the individuals that were actually in my
Okay,
home.
and certainly that was sometime before June the 16th, 2015, isn't that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. Were you ever shown any photographs of anybody who appeared to be at an ATM machine in this particular case having to do with this matter?
No, I wasn't. No.
Did you notice anything significant about the style or logo of any clothing on any one of the perpetrators that were in your house?
Nothing other than dark clothing, sir.
Okay, thank you. And you would have noticed that because you were trying to observe, were you not?
Yes, as I lied face down on the floor at gunpoint.
And of course, not only that, you had been upright, standing in the presence of the perpetrators at some point in time.
Yes, just
And each one of them, isn't that true?
yes, just briefly.
Thank you. But briefly enough to notice if they had logos or anything like that on their jackets, and you were facing them and they were facing you, you would have detected that, most likely, wouldn't you?
Theoretically, yes.
Thank you. The document of Exhibit 491, did it come from your credit union account?
Was that the document that Mr. Moran showed
Yes,
me?
that's correct.
Yes, that would be
Okay.
it, sir.
And was that documentation a representation of the activity of April the 15th, 2015 at the is it PNC?
PNC.
NC?
PNC.
Yes, thank you. Bank?
Yes, sir.
Did you personally look at those entries?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you see withdrawals there?
Yes, I did.
And how big was the biggest withdrawal that appeared to you possibly to be suspect?
$103 and some change, if I'm not.
All right. And how if any, did you come by receiving those documents to show the activity of that date?
After the crime and the incident happened at our house, my wife and I got up the following morning and made trips to my credit union and her credit union also.
Okay. And you gave them certain information?
Yes, to attain the transaction records.
All right. And how long did it take to get those?
We got those immediately, sir.
Okay.
I insisted that we got them immediately.
All right. And do you still have those?
We have copies of them.
Okay. Were they exactly what it was that Mr. Moran showed you in exhibit number 491 to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you did not make those withdrawals
No, I didn't.
about that date at all?
No, sir.
They were foreign to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And unauthorized?
Yes, sir.
I see. And you have no way of knowing personally, do you, who made those withdrawals?
If it wasn't my wife or me, no, I don't have any way of knowing.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Moran,
I don't have any questions, Mr. Stewart.
any questions by the jurors? Mr. Stewart, thank you. You may step down. Sir, you can remain or be excused, whatever you prefer.
Okay, I will remain, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Ma'am, would you please raise your right hand for me, if you would? You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes, Your Honor. All right. Please have a seat, and we'll adjust the microphone in front of you once you get comfortable, okay? Okay. Can you want to put the arm of that microphone closer to you there? Mr. Morano, give me a
Like
hand
around?
with that.
Yeah, it swings right around. It'll come right close to
okay.
you.
Okay.
All right, good.
Good.
Okay. May I inquire the witness, right?
Whenever you're ready.
Tell me your name, please, ma'am.
My name is Sandra Diane Stewart.
Ms. Stewart, for the record, how old are you today?
I am 63.
Back in April of 2015, specifically April 15th of 2015, were you living at 129 West Hilldale Street in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
And who were you living at that house with, ma'am?
My husband, MacArthur Stewart.
And how long had you and your husband lived at that house on Hilldale Street as of April 15th of 2015?
I believe it's 33 years.
Can I bring up 126, please? Ms. Stewart, can you look behind you on the screen? It's blank now, but give it a minute. There we go. Is this the house that we're talking about, 129 West Hilldale Street?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, how many years did you say you and your husband lived there?
Around 33. We moved there in 1982.
And at the time that you were living there with your husband in April of 2015, was anyone else staying in your house with you besides your husband?
No.
And your husband's name is MacArthur Stewart, just for the record?
Yes.
Was your husband working back in April of 2015?
No.
Was he just recently retired?
Yes.
Back in April 15th, were you still working?
No.
What type of were you retired?
Yes, I'm retired.
What type of work did you do before you were retired, ma'am?
I was caseworker for the Department of Human Services in Oakland County.
Okay. And so both you and your husband, MacArthur Stewart, were retired back in April of last year?
Yes.
Now, on that evening, at some point in time of the 15th of April, did there come a point in time when your husband left the home that night?
It wasn't that night. It was earlier in the day.
Okay. He left by himself?
Yes. I wasn't there when he left. I was out.
Okay.
When I got home, he wasn't there.
About what time was it, ma'am, when you got home?
Around about 8:30.
Okay, it was dark out already?
No, it was still light.
Still light. Okay. So you get home, 8:30. Your husband's not home at that point in time?
Correct.
Did you know where he was?
No.
Okay. At some point later in the evening, does your husband come home?
Yes.
Was anyone else home at the time your husband arrived home that day? Were you by yourself?
I was by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did something unusual happen about the same time your husband came home while you were home by yourself?
Yes, that's
What
correct.
happened? What happened?
I was sitting in my bedroom knitting, and I heard footsteps coming up the steps, and it didn't sound like his footsteps. They were lighter, so I was a little confused. And the two men entered my bedroom, and they had dark clothing on and green latex gloves and guns. Okay, so...
So let me stop you there, mister.
Okay.
I'm going to back up a little bit.
Okay.
You said you're upstairs in your bedroom by yourself.
Yes.
Is it the master bedroom?
Yes, master bedroom.
How many bedrooms upstairs?
3.
And you're in the master bedroom by yourself. You said you're sitting in a chair.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Knitting.
Okay. About what time was this? Do you know?
Probably around 11:15.
Okay. So it's late in the evening.
Yes.
Your husband's not home yet?
No.
And the first thing you notice, the first thing you hear is footsteps on the stairway, correct?
Yes, correct.
And when you heard that, did you assume first off that it must be your husband coming home?
At first.
Okay. But you said the footfalls were different than the sound your husband makes when he comes home.
Right.
They were
They were lighter.
lighter. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And did that cause you some concern when you heard those unusually sounding footfalls?
Yes, because it sounded like more than one person.
Okay. You're still in your bedroom.
Yes.
Still by yourself.
Yes.
Still sitting in a chair.
Yes.
And you said someone came into your room. Can you describe the person or persons who came into your room?
2 African American gentlemen. They had on dark colored jackets and slacks. A popular brand gym shoe, I believe it was Nike, and they had a hood over their head, but it wasn't quite a full mask or anything, but it came up to, let's say, below their nose, because one of the guys kept pulling it up. So, and I believe there might have been like a knit hat or something underneath the hood of the jacket.
Okay, so
And
you're sitting in your room.
yeah,
These two guys that come into your house, they're wearing dark clothing,
yes,
hoodies on their heads. Yeah?
yes,
And you said a partial mask that comes up to their nose.
yes,
Okay. You said one kept pulling on it,
yes, pulling it up. Yeah.
and they had gloves on. You said.
Yes.
Okay. Were those the kind of like winter gloves to keep warm,
No, they were a lime green latex type glove.
like surgical gloves?
Yes,
Okay. Some the doctor's office gloves.
yes,
You said they were lime green.
yes.
Did they have any weapons when they came into your room?
Yes.
Describe those, please.
They were handguns. They weren't like the pistol type. They were kind of a long, narrow barrel. The barrel was kind of long and narrow. I'm not really familiar with guns.
They weren't
Yeah.
rifles. They were handguns.
Handguns.
Okay. And you said they weren't pistols. You mean like a cowboy gun with a cylinder? Right.
Right.
You said the barrels were long and narrow.
Yes.
Okay. Like police officers. Ever seen those? If you know.
I don't know
Fine,
offhand. Okay.
Do you know what color the guns were? Light, dark?
Dark.
Okay. And did both the individuals that come into your room that night, did both of them have those handguns with them?
Yes.
Okay. So they walk into the room with you. They have these handguns. You're still sitting in your chair knitting, right?
Yes.
What happens?
I didn't want him to encounter them in the house. So,
What happened after you told them that? Did they come into the room?
oh, they was already in the room at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And are the guns trained on you?
Yes, they were on me.
And after you told them that, what did they do?
They started rummaging the room in my drawers, looking for I don't know what. They threw things on the floor. My items that's in the drawer, like lingerie, scarves, whatever that was in there, and they took my jewelry. I have an armoire probably about 4 feet tall with like about six drawers, and they dumped those out. They took a pillowcase off the bed, and they put all the items that they retrieved in that room in the pillowcase.
And what type of items? You said jewelry, right?
Jewelry and
that armoire that you have with the 4 foot tall, is that a jewelry armoire?
jewelry armoire.
And you kept your jewelry in there?
Yes, I had a lot of jewelry.
Did they leave some behind, or
They left one drawer of bracelets behind.
did any of that jewelry have sentimental value to you?
Yes.
That was
it did.
taken?
Yes.
What type of value did that have? Sentimental?
Sentimental. Some was jewelry my deceased mother, who passed away in 2013, had given me some of her jewelry, and jewelry that MacArthur had given me for Christmas, birthdays, just sentimental values. And jewelry I bought, like we travel some, and I buy jewelry when I travel or at craft shows where there's one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry. I would collect that.
And that was taken from you?
Yes,
At gunpoint?
at gunpoint.
In addition to jewelry, Mrs. Stewart, did they take anything else from you in that room?
Yes, I had my iPad on the bed, my iPhone. They took that, and they took cash money that I had in my purse, because I told them they could have the money. So okay.
How much money did you give them?
It was about around $70. Yeah, because I knew that amount because I had gone to the ATM earlier, and I went to dinner with coworkers, and I spent like $30. So I know that it was about 70 left.
Took the money, took your jewelry, took your iPad, took your iPhone. Anything else?
My ATM card.
Was that in your purse or your wallet?
Yes. After I dumped it out on the bed and told them to take what they wanted, yes, the gunman asked did I have a debit card, and I said yes, and he asked me for the PIN number.
Did you give it to him?
Yes, because he threatened to kill me if I didn't.
What did he say he would do if you didn't give it to him?
He said, if you don't give me the PIN number, I'm gonna kill you. He said, I don't want to have to shoot you. That's what he said, but I will. So I gave him the PIN number. I wrote it down on the index card.
And all the while he's pointing a gun at you?
Yes.
Did you give him the right PIN number?
Yes.
Jewelry, iPad, iPhone, cash, debit card, ATM card, all taken from you in the bedroom. Then what happens?
Then the second person was, there was one particular gunman that was on me the whole time. The other one that rummaged the room, he had left, and I guess I assume he went to the other rooms to see the other valuables there, but I didn't recall anything missing from those rooms. So he didn't come back, and then the gunman said, oh, your husband is home, and come to the other room, which was the guest bedroom. So
It's not there. Is that also on the second floor?
that's on the second floor.
And so, were you taken from the master bedroom to the guest bedroom?
Yes, I was.
By the gunman?
Yes.
At gunpoint?
Yes.
And when you got to the spare bedroom, did you see someone there that you knew?
Yes, my husband.
Your husband. What was he doing?
He was laying on the floor face down.
Was anyone else in the room with your husband at that time?
No.
Okay. Does the gunman that brought you to the spare bedroom put you in the room with your husband?
Yes.
Where did he put you?
He told me to get on the floor, and I know I couldn't get face down because I'm too stiff for that. And so I just sat on the floor with my back against the bed. And
You sat there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No.
You said that you're sitting on the floor. Is your husband still lying down?
Yes.
Okay. Is the gunman still in the room?
Yes.
Okay. What happens next?
Then he stands there, and the PIN number that I had given him, he was yelling it down to someone downstairs. So I assume it was the second gunman. So he yelled it down a few times, okay, and finally, like he was frustrated because whoever was down there kept asking him for the number again. So I don't know why, but after that, they left.
So you're in the spare bedroom. There's one gunman upstairs with you, as far as you know, right?
Yes.
One gunman in the room, right?
Yes.
And he's yelling your PIN number down to somebody else.
Yes.
Okay. You don't know who he's yelling to. All you know is one person's left, right?
Right.
He yells it more than once.
Yes.
Okay. At some point, he leaves
Yes.
the bedroom. Yes?
He was in the hallway when he was doing that. So we were like in the opening of the guest bedroom, like laying towards the front of the door.
Okay.
So sitting.
And how close was the gunman in the hallway? How far away was you in terms of feet?
About 5 feet.
Okay. You didn't have any trouble hearing what he was saying?
No.
Okay. And you could hear him repeating your PIN number to someone else?
Right.
At some point, do you notice, Ms. Stewart, that he's not on the landing or in the hallway anymore?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear him leave?
Yeah, he turned around. I saw him turn around and run down the
So you
steps.
saw him leave?
Yes.
Did you hear him go down the steps?
Yes.
Could you see him physically going down the steps from where you're sitting?
Just the 3 steps. The other 10 steps are not in sight.
Okay, but you heard those, right?
Yes, I heard them.
So at that point, you and your husband are alone in the bedroom, right?
Yes.
What happened next?
And then after we assumed they were gone, then I called the police.
Did your husband at some point leave you alone in the bedroom?
Yes, he goes downstairs behind them.
Okay. Does he take something with him?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So he leaves you alone, and do you call the police at that point when your husband leaves?
Yes.
Okay. And when you say the police, you mean 911?
911, yes.
You know, at this time, by stipulation, People's Stipulation 488 reads that the 911 call recording from April 15, 2015, made by Sandra Stewart, is a fair and accurate recording of the 911 call made by her on that date. This call was recorded at the time the call was made and was kept in the course of regularly conducted business by the Detroit Police Department Communications. Is that a correct stipulation?
So stipulated. All right.
What's the number?
You remember, ladies and gentlemen, what I told you a stipulation is. It's an agreement between the parties. It eliminates the necessity of having to bring in witnesses because everybody agrees what that would be. You may accept these stipulated facts as being true.
And we have marked the 911 call as People's Proposed Exhibit number 129. I would move for admission based on the stipulation.
All right, I take it no objection?
Correct.
At this time,
To be received.
the court's permission, I'd like to play it for the witness.
Go ahead, please.
At 11:45 p.m.
Detroit Emergency 911, where's the problem?
Somebody just came in here and robbed us.
Okay, ma'am, where are you?
I'm in the bedroom, my husband downstairs.
Okay,
They robbed us at gunpoint.
is anybody hurt, ma'am?
No.
Okay, you're at 129 West Hilldale, between Gunner and Charleston.
Yes.
No one is hurt?
No.
Hold on for me, though. Hold on. Don't hang up. You said they robbed you at some point?
Yes. Me and my husband.
How long have you been in the house?
I was in my house. They did it for about 20 minutes.
20
They
minutes?
went through, ran with everything, took the debit card, and we had to give my PIN number. They had some kind of device that they was working downstairs. We was upstairs. If it didn't work, I guess they was going to shoot us.
Hold on. Hold on for me, ma'am. Put it in. Do you remember, were they black males, white males?
Black young males.
How many was it, ma'am?
I saw two. They both had jeans on and black Adidas sneakers and a dark black windbreaker with a hood on it and another cap.
They had jeans? I'm sorry, they had jeans and a black shirt?
Windbreaker jacket.
Black jacket?
Black jacket.
And they, what kind of shoes did they have on, ma'am?
Adidas sneakers with the little arrow like thing, the white things on the side. It looked like it curved. I think it was just Adidas.
Okay, do you remember, did they say anything to you?
Yeah, they just told me to just sit there, be quiet, don't say nothing. He said he wasn't going to shoot me unless he was looking for money and guns.
Okay, hold on for me, hold on, baby. Okay, ma'am, hold on, I'm requesting to you, just 1 second. Is your husband okay?
I went downstairs after they closed the door and left. I guess he okay. He okay. I haven't seen him. He was laying down. I told him not to go down.
Hold on. Okay, ma'am, I'm requesting them. Okay, I requested them out for the location, and that's 129 West Hilldale Street, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now you're telling me that there were two black males next to me. They were wearing jeans, a black jacket, and Adidas gym shoes.
Yes, they both had guns.
Both have weapons?
Yes. And my husband must have came in on because my husband was out. And they made him lay on the floor in the other bedroom, and they told me to get up. I was in another bedroom to get up and come in there. And I didn't know he was in there. I was telling him to hurry up so my husband come home. So he come home.
Okay, so you were home alone?
I was at home alone.
Hold on a minute. Okay, you sure you don't need the EMS? Are you okay?
Oh, no.
How are you
They didn't
breathing?
bother me or touch me.
They didn't? Oh, how's your breathing? You're breathing okay? Okay, no chest pains or anything? Okay, it's okay, ma'am. I'll request them to your location, and right now I see that they're dispatched, okay? What, can you call your husband to you? He's downstairs. Okay, listen to me, ma'am. Listen to me. I need you to breathe, okay? Okay, now they're en route to your location. They're en route. But your husband is still okay, though. He went back downstairs.
Man, I don't know if he went upstairs. I was afraid he was going to the steps.
Well, it's okay. They're en route, ma'am. They're en route to your location, okay?
Okay.
All right, just listen out for the police car. They're en route. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was your voice, Ms. Stewart? wasn't it?
Yes.
You indicated that the ATM card that you gave him and the PIN number they gave him, did you later find out that any money had been withdrawn from your account?
Yes.
And how did you find that out?
I checked, they didn't, I had a laptop computer, and I checked my balance. After the police had gone out to the car, after the officer went out to the car, I went to check my balance because I do online banking, and I saw what they had attempted, well, they did withdraw money out of my account, and they took money out of MacArthur's account also.
That night?
And that night.
Now, you said the police came after the 911 call?
Yes, they did.
And you told them what happened to you?
Yes.
A couple months later, after that crime occurred at your house, ma'am, on June 16th, were you asked to go to look at a live lineup of some possible suspects involved in this case?
Yes.
And did you go with your husband to the Dickerson facility in Hamtramck?
Yes, I did.
At that time, did you look at some lineups of individuals in an array?
Yes.
A total of 5?
I believe so.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
131?
Yes.
Any what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit number 131, Ms. Stewart, would you take a look at that?
Okay.
And would you believe me if I told you that's a lineup record that's kept by the Detroit Police Department after a witness views a lineup? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see your signature anywhere on that form, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
And did you sign that form after viewing the lineup?
Yes, I did.
And after you viewed the lineup, did you make a statement of identification of a person that you recognized from April 15th in your home from that night?
Yes, I did.
What did you tell the officers when you looked at that photographic array?
That the guy who held the gun on me, it looked like his bill.
Like his bill?
But yeah, but I couldn't identify the face or anything.
Okay.
But I was going by the bill and the size and
Sure.
everything.
And what number was that person in the lineup you identified?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the question. Okay.
Do you see where it says here?
Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Number 4.
And that's the person that you said looked like the person that billed that had the gun and held the gun on you that night, right?
Yes.
And what's the name associated with number 4?
Kevin Smith.
Thank you, ma'am. Move to amend People's Proposed number 131, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No.
It'll be received. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I indicated to you we were going to have to break at noon. We run a little bit over. We're not going to meet tomorrow, so you have to go to work. Can't cover for you. You can go play hooky the rest of the day. You're okay, but today. But we are going to need to see you back here Monday morning, 10 minutes to 9, in the jury room. With your notebooks on your chair. We'll collect them and keep them safe until then. Remember to keep an open mind and hear everything in the case. And we'll see everybody back here at 10 minutes to 9.
All rise. So gotta be careful.
Okay.
I'm hoping you'll never find here because somewhere up that way.
Maybe see it. Yeah. All right, we'll go up and talk. Unfortunately, let's go up and talk about Monday before we clean up and move on.